What's up guys, today we're going to be talking about the Sony A6400. I've now had it for about 6 months and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts about this camera. What's up guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Jesus Martinez and I'm a Sanyo creator trying to go full time. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to follow the journey. Alright guys, like I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about the Sony A6400. I've now had it for about 6 months and I've been using this camera for everything. I use it to shoot photos, I use it to shoot video, literally everything. Now first of all, this was the first Sony camera I ever had, and prior to this I was actually shooting with a Canon 80D. So that Canon 80D was lagging so many things that this camera offers, and the first thing that really pushed me to go for it was actually the capability to shoot at 120 frames per second. Coming from a Canon 80D, I used to shoot everything at 60 frames per second, and that works, but 120 frames per second just really looks that much more buttery. It gives you that extra step at slowing down your footage and it looks amazing. Now a downside from this camera body is that it has no in-body stabilization, but it is a lot to ask for, being that this camera already offers so many things, and the Canon 80D didn't have in-body stabilization, and it's kind of hard to find a starting mirrorless camera DSLR that comes with it. It's just too much to ask for. Now the second thing I loved about this camera is the eye autofocus. It is so fast in photo and in video. It works amazing. It's either going to catch that eye really quick or find the face. It's unbelievable. I can't believe I was shooting on a DSLR for such a long time with this technology already out there. So definitely in IAF, it is so good on this camera. I just can't stop telling people how good it is. You know, on a Canon 80D you have to move around the focus point, and all DSLRs you have to do that since they don't have IAF. But this Sony A64, the eye autofocus, it's just unbelievable. When I'm taking a portrait of somebody, I always turn it on because I know I can trust this camera to find that eye and that face way better than just moving around the camera and finding that actual point on the eye and then going from there. The IAF it's flawless. One downside to this camera though, although the IAF is great when you're shooting multiple people, per se a wedding, it's not gonna be that perfect at finding only the bride's eyes when there's a couple people or so in the actual frame. In this scenarios, you want to be shooting with a single AF point, but in this camera I find it that it lags a little bit when I'm trying to move around that point. And I actually shot a wedding about a month ago and I was having a little trouble with that. So for that one reason, I kind of want to already upgrade to a Sony a7R III. Maybe the AF point is way faster, way smoother, and I know it does have more dials than this, but that would say that's a downside to this camera, that the single point autofocus, single AF point, single focus point, the movement of the single focus point is a little bit slow and a little bit harder than other cameras I've had. When it comes to video recording, I love that this thing has a lot of video stuff to it, and that was another push for it since I'm a hybrid shooter. I shoot all these videos and I shoot photography a lot, but I'm also making content for some small businesses. In this camera, the HLG profiles are so good. I really enjoy using them. It gives you that really nice flat profile that you can just edit. But with this camera, you can't go that crazy on the edits because it's gonna start to fall apart. And I started noticing that when I was starting to mess around more with the Lumetri scopes in Premiere, and I started noticing that the blacks are getting a lot of noise if I really try and kill those blacks. That is one downside, but again, we're talking about a starter camera. We're talking about a camera that offers so many things at such a low price. I think it's perfect for somebody starting off, definitely. Now this camera offers unlimited recording, and that is something I love so much because I haven't had any issues with files getting cut off and doing all that stuff that gets really annoying sometimes in post. In this camera, no issues with that. I actually got this because of that, since I figured if I'm shooting some weddings or some other type of video content, I don't want to be over there worried that the camera stopped recording and you have to go there and reset it, because I've done that before and it is really annoying, especially during a ceremony in a wedding. That is like the worst thing ever. This also comes with zebras, which I love when it comes to finding the actual exposure in the video. It makes it so much easier than just messing around with the actual actual light meter. It's so much easier just looking at zebras to see if you're overexposing something. It also comes with focus peaking, which is really helpful when you're going on that manual focus. I actually did a real estate photo shoot and the focus peaking was amazing. I am so thankful that it has it. All these tools, they don't really make you a better photographer or videographer necessarily, but they do make the job much easier. Now the camera does have a flip out screen, but it is so weird. I wonder if Canon just patented what they got going on, because it'd be so much better if this camera had that Canon, you know, signature swivel screen, whatever it's called. It would be so much easier with the handling of the screen. But the screen works out, it gets the job done. It flips all the way up, and sometimes when you're shooting, it's nice to just do a little flip up and down. It's very helpful. But my biggest concern, my biggest pet peeve with this camera, which is something everybody was talking about when it first released, is that the hot shoe is right in front of the LCD screen, and it is so annoying that you have to get an actual external mount to change around the hot shoe, because that's the only way you can really see yourself and record with a really nice audio. With an external or an added or an extra purchase, just the extra purchase of this little thingy that goes on the hot shoe to, you know, make it work. That is really annoying. Why did you guys do that? Really, Sony, you maybe added another hot shoe somewhere, maybe that would work, or include that thing, because you guys know if this is a vlogging camera, you're gonna need to put a mic up on there. Or put an amazing mic in the system, which, you know, the camera's cheap. Come on, it's very cheap for all that stuff. I love this camera. And my second biggest pet peeve is the battery life. And although Sony says that they did fix it, again, this is my first Sony system coming from a Canon 80D to the Sony A64. The battery has a huge difference. Now, if you're only using the Sony batteries, which are about $60 each, yes, it will last you, I think it goes a little bit over an hour. I can't remember well, but obviously people like us that need to save some money and buy some off-branded stuff, the batteries that I've bought from Amazon that are off-brand have lasted me about 30 minutes, 24 minutes, something like that. And it's not that reliable. It's very annoying when you're shooting video and you have to go there and change batteries, or you're doing photos and you got 20% left on the battery and you think you can make it, but by the time you're going to take the shot, you got 2% left on it and the battery dies on you. That is the worst feeling ever, because your settings were already dialed in, you change it up and you got to start over. So the battery life on this is not the greatest. Unless you're shooting only Sony batteries, you're going to get a fairly good amount of battery. But if it had more battery, the battery lasted longer, this would be so much better. Now, after all these negatives, to show you guys one of the pros and the best part of this camera is that it's only about $900. It is impossible to find a camera that's $900 and offers 120 frames per second. It offers the IAF, it offers zebras, it offers focus peaking. I mean, only like some of the top of the line Canon cameras offer this. Back then, what you need a 5D Mark IV to be able to get 120 frames per second, you're talking about a couple $1,000s. And this thing just offers it at a $900 price. It is unbelievable. So for that reason, I actually bought 2 bodies of this camera when it came out, and I've been shooting with it ever since. And honestly, looking at what's out there, looking at the newer cameras, I just laugh, because Canon is putting out all these new cameras and all these other brands are putting out all these cameras that are way over $1,000, $2,000, don't even offer half of the stuff this camera has. So for that reason, I am very happy with my purchase. I will say I want to upgrade to an A7R3 because I want more dials and more professional settings on this camera. But if you're a beginner, I think this is an excellent setup for you guys to start. So 6 months with this camera and I'm still happy with it. It gets the job done and I've been able to do so much work with it. If you guys found this helpful, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps out the channel. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you guys can stay updated for future content, guys. Really appreciate it. I've been getting more comments and more traction on the channel. Definitely I've been uploading more, but I'm gonna continue this consistency, this thing, you know, this. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you on the next video.